Is The Last of Us Part 3 really in development? More details on the Helldivers 2 live service elements? Capcom may be working on 5 Resident Evil games? And it really seems like Microsoft is publishing more games on PS5. All that and more in today's PlayStation news. Let's get to them. Grounded 2, the documentary for The Last of Us Part 2 launched last Friday, where Naughty Dog president Neil Druckmann hinted at the possibility of a sequel by saying there's probably one more chapter to this story. Druckmann also addressed previous rumors that Naughty Dog had outlined The Last of Us Part 3 and explained that it was a small story, not a full title, centered around Joel's brother Tommy. This story, along with a prequel focusing on Ellie's background and parents, has been temporarily shelved, but could see the light of day in the future, possibly as a game or in the TV show. Druckmann clarified that in the same way as the first game was about unconditional love of a parent for their child, and the second one was about the pursuit of justice at any cost, there's a concept for a third game, but is not currently in development. The documentary also explored the development process of The Last of Us Part 2, and features discussions on the impact of controversial story choices and character fates, which resulted in significant backlash, including death threats against Laura Bailey, the actor who portrayed Abby. Bailey shared her experience of receiving death threats targeting her infant son, emphasizing the need to keep a distance and the toll such incidents take on personal well-being. Do you believe Naughty Dog will end up making The Last of Us Part 3? What do you think about the game's backlash and attack on actors? Voice your opinion in the comments. Next, Helldivers 2, the sequel to the popular co-op top-down shooter, is set to offer live service content and react to player actions inspired by the dynamic storytelling of Dungeons & Dragons. This was revealed by Arrowhead Studios game director Sagar Veroshi in an interview with Push Square, where he also said they plan to track the community's real-time efforts against in-game adversaries and shape the post-launch narrative accordingly. This interactive approach will introduce new missions and unlockable content based on the evolving galactic territorial game as part of future updates that will offer progression-based and premium unlockables. Helldivers 2 made a significant change in perspective, replacing the top-down view with an over-the-shoulder third-person camera, which Veroshi said was to provide a more immersive and changed gameplay experience. The core feature of friendly fire remains, adding to the comedic and chaotic nature of the game, with Arrowhead Studios wanting to strike a balance between introducing new elements and retaining the essence of the original Helldivers. Are you looking forward to Helldivers 2 this week? Share with us in the comments. Now let's talk about Capcom, who is apparently working on not 1 or 2 but 5 Resident Evil games, according to reliable horror leaker Golem. Capcom has yet to officially announce its next Resident Evil project, and in the meantime is working on expanding RE4 to mobile, plus the upcoming Gold Edition. One of the upcoming games has apparently leaked previously, and it's Resident Evil 9, which is speculated for a 2025 release. Then Golem adds the other 4 games to include one that is scheduled to launch in late 2026 or early 2027. Adding to these rumors is series voice actor Craig Bornatowski, who voices Albert Wesker in the latest Resident Evil 4 remake. After the Game Awards tweeted asking people for their most anticipated PlayStation game, he replied with "the one I'm working on," which has been taken as a hint that Resident Evil 5 remake is in the works. There's a chance that it's also called Veronica, since Wesker also appears there, and it's something fans have been asking for, but RE4 remake further hinted an RE5 remake was happening. We'll have to wait and see. I would be happy with either Code Veronica or RE5, and even more with knowing about RE9, and with 5 games in development there's a chance we get all that, but there's also no guarantee all 5 games will be released in the future. What Resident Evil game would you like to see next? Let us know in the comments. It seems we're not gonna have to wait too much on Microsoft officially launching more games for PS5 and Switch, as rumors on this topic were on fire over the weekend. It all started when Twitter user TLOU3 claimed that an anonymous ZeniMax employee mentioned Microsoft multi-platform plans would be announced by Xbox President Sarah Bond in spring in a now-deleted tweet. Twitter user Subitek also shared a screenshot conversation from a Discord that aligns with earlier leaks and suggests that Microsoft is looking into launching games like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, Doom Year Zero, Hi-Fi Rush, and Sea of Thieves on more platforms including PS5. This change in strategy is rumored to be announced either today, by late February, or by the end of the fiscal year coming March 31st. That's not all, cause Windows Central Jez Corden has added to the conversation, saying he doesn't believe the Sarah Bond announcement will happen, but that Xbox going multi-platform is not even a rumor anymore, as it's happening. Among the games he also expects last year's major Bethesda exclusive Starfield will land on PlayStation at some point. The reason for the change in Microsoft's strategy, as per Corden's tweet, is that Microsoft has decided they are not going to make enough money with their current strategy, and they want to build healthier profit margins by releasing on Sony systems, then reinvesting on the Xbox ecosystem. Several other sources have confirmed these rumors, including Xbox Era, Nate the Hate, and The Verge, which found Indiana Jones is also considered for PS5 and will only have a short exclusivity window on Xbox. Halo, Pentiment, and Grounded have also been in the discourse of games possibly coming to PS5. Xbox Era also pointed out that Microsoft has invested on more PS5 dev kits to support this change in strategy. It appears Microsoft CFO Tim Stewart may have spilled the beans too early when he spoke about this strategy last November 2023 in a Wells Fargo conference. Still, Microsoft has not confirmed any of this as of recording, but it's starting to sound that they will announce something really soon. What do you make of Xbox exclusives launching on PS5 and Switch? Share your opinion in the comments. Now time for a round of quickfire gaming news. New rumors are going around that a ground-up remake of the original Uncharted Drake's Fortune is in the works at Sony. This was shared by insider Nick Baker from the Xbox Era podcast, coming from an anonymous source who presented evidence for the remake. Sony has been on the trend of remaking and remastering games, but take this one with a grain of salt for now. The original Uncharted game was rumored to have been remade by PlayStation Visual Arts Studio, with the project later shifting to the recent Last of Us remake. Catherine O'Hara has joined the cast of The Last of Us Season 2 on HBO, along with Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, Isabella Merced, John Mazzino, and Caitlin Dever. O'Hara, who is famous for her work in Beetlejuice and Home Alone, will take the role of an undisclosed character. Insomniac Games has addressed online abuse aimed at their team over the lack of updates for Spider-Man 2. Advanced Senior Community Manager Aaron Jason Espinosa condemned the threats directed at game developers, saying they are childish and stupid. With Community and Marketing Director James Stevenson acknowledging people want info and they are working to bring them as fast as possible, but asking fans not to do this. This likely happened after there was nothing about the game during the most recent State of Play. Really shameful to see this happen. Former Game Informer and Fanbyte senior editor Imran Khan suggests that Bloodborne was once in development for both PS5 and PC, but no updates on the project have surfaced in literal years. He also cautioned fans not to hold their breath due to the lack of recent information, which may frustrate fans given Sony's focus on other remakes and remasters like the recent Until Dawn. It appears Supermassive Games was working on Until Dawn 2 before parting ways with Sony, according to several employees from the studio. They said that the quarry started as a prototype for Until Dawn 2, but it's not clear why they parted ways, with rumors suggesting Supermassive wanted to focus on multi-platform games with the Dark Pictures anthology. Ballistic Moon, a studio form of ex-Supermassive developers, is the one in charge of bringing the upcoming Until Dawn remaster to PS5, and maybe they could look into a sequel in the future, depending on how the remaster and movie do. The Silent Hill 2 remake trailer featured during the State of Play has faced fan criticism, being the most disliked of the group due to its janky animations and subpar visuals. Reliable leaker Dos Golem notes this was an older build, as it shares similarities with the trailer from May 2023, which is common in the industry, but Konami didn't help, as they should have added a disclaimer in the trailer that it was from an older build. PS5 is again leading in Japan, as it has maintained its position as the best-selling console, surpassing the Nintendo Switch for the past 2 weeks. The PS5 sold nearly 50,000 units, while the Nintendo Switch came in second with over 46,000 units during the same period. Despite stock shortages since its November 2020 launch, the PS5 has consistently faced high demand, but the problem lies in the software side, where Nintendo always dominates. That also changed the past couple of weeks, with Spider-Man 2 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth PS5 being the top sellers. Speaking of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, the game has become the fastest selling game in the franchise, reaching 1 million units sold within its debut week. Sega and RGG Studio are celebrating the milestone by giving a free DLC pack that includes a celebratory t-shirt, plus other undisclosed content they will announce later on their social media channels. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has been a source of controversy over the last week, and it seems that's going to continue. The game managed to become the #1 selling game in the UK this week, but it did half of what Guardians of the Galaxy did, according to Christopher Drink from Game Industry. Adding to that, the game has half the Steam player peak that Avengers managed on day one. You add the mixed scores and it's not looking good for the looter shooter's future in the games as a service space, unless it's performing really great on consoles. The trophy list for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PS5 has been revealed to include 61 trophies, requiring an estimated 100 hours of gameplay for Platinum. The list features challenges like completing a hard difficulty playthrough, reaching level 70, and finishing all quests, plus bronze trophies are earned through story progression across 14 chapters. There are spoilers in the list, so proceed with caution if you are looking into it, link with the full list in the description. There's more on the possible announcement of the Elden Ring DLC via the Steam DB page, which indicates it's currently undergoing quality assessment, as evidenced in the change list log. References to QA release, QA debug, and dev debug suggest From Software is on a significant stage of development, and the mention of PD1 potentially indicates a playable demo, all of which lines up with previous rumors, and maybe we'll see an announcement by the game's launch anniversary on February 25th. Trusted insider Tom Henderson suggests that Ubisoft's Star Wars Outlaws is aiming for a spring release in the first half of 2024, specifically targeting May. Disney had confirmed the game for a late 2024 launch, but it was unclear if it was for Ubisoft fiscal year 24 or calendar year. Now Henderson has clarified this, but he also warns that Ubisoft is no stranger to delays and wouldn't be surprised if there's one. Star Wars Jedi Survivor Force was strong last Sunday as it took the Grammy for Best Score Soundtrack for Video Games and Other Interactive Media, a score that was made by composers Stephen Barton and Gordy Habb. The EA title took the distinction over God of War Ragnarok, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Stray Gods, and Hogwarts Legacy, in what is the second time the Grammys have recognized excellence in music created for games. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. Come back on Wednesday for a new video, but remember to share your thoughts on any of these news in the comments below, like or dislike to let me know your feedback, check out other videos you may enjoy while you are here, such as Sony possibly working on a new handheld, and consider subscribing for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!